Following Tyson Fury's dominant sixth-round stoppage of Dillian Whyte on Saturday night, the Gypsy King has revealed he now has plans of retirement. But what is next for the man who has now been suggested as one of the heavyweight boxing greatest of all time? Today, we're discussing the speculation as to what could be next for the Manchester fighter, from a transition to MMA to a return to WWE. Stay tuned. First up is those persistent Francis Ngannou rumors. It has long been suggested that a fight between Fury and UFC heavyweight king Francis Ngannou could go ahead at one point or another, and the Cameroonian's appearance in the ring at the end of Fury's win against Wilder will have done nothing to quash those rumors. However, the sticking point with this one comes in the form of Ngannou's bitter contract dispute with the UFC's top brass. It was thought that he would be free from his contract following January's win against Cyril Gane, but it turns out that due to him winning, it activated a clause in the contract which entitles the UFC to one more Ngannou fight. Add this to the fact that the heavy-handed Ngannou is currently recuperating from knee surgery, then this could hinder the potential super fight ever getting off the ground. And if this one does get the go-ahead, then what rules would we be using? The idea that Francis Ngannou could beat Tyson Fury using the standard Queensberry rules has pretty much been ridiculed by most people in the know. So would there be a multi-rule system, the likes of which we recently saw in ONE FC, in which Demetrius Johnson submitted Rodtang? That bout featured alternating rounds of Muay Thai and MMA rules. This would probably be the only real chance Ngannou would have of winning, but as fans of MMA well know, Ngannou's jiu-jitsu isn't the best. Who do you see winning if this one gets booked next? Next up, could we finally get the Anthony Joshua fight? Let's discuss. Well, this one will surely depend on whether or not Joshua gets past Alexander Usyk, which is set to take place in Saudi Arabia sometime this summer. Fury was set to fight his fellow Englishman before he was ordered to fight mandatory challenger Whyte. So could we revisit this potential mega fight? Joshua isn't the fighter he once was, and after he was stripped by Usyk last September, his stock plummeted even further after Andy Ruiz had shocked the world a few years ago by taking the English fighters' titles. If Joshua does beat Usyk sometime this summer, it could set up a unification with Tyson, but he needs to get past the Ukrainian first, which certainly won't be any picnic. Should Usyk successfully defend the titles he took from Joshua last year, then that could put him in a pole position for a shot at unifying the heavyweight division. Looking at the way the last fight played out, plus the two men's career trajectories so far, Usyk will probably go into the match as the favorite, so Joshua will have a lot of work to do if he wants to fight Tyson Fury in the near future. What do you guys make of a potential fight with longtime rival Anthony Joshua? Let us know what you think below. A pretty odd one now. We're discussing rumors of Canelo Alvarez fighting Fury. Canelo became a four-weight world champion in November 2019 as he captured the WBO light heavyweight crown against Sergey Kovalev, so the Mexican is no stranger to moving up and down in weight classes, similar to the way Manny Pacquiao used to operate. We also know that Canelo never backs down from a fight, but could a potential super fight with Fury really materialize? It would of course have to take place at heavyweight, thanks to the sheer size of Fury, but surely there is too much of a difference in size between the two men. Canelo stands just 5'7", a full foot and some change shorter than the Gypsy King, which would almost certainly give him too much of a challenge to overcome. And whilst many people have rubbished reports of Canelo moving up to heavyweight, it would be in keeping with the recent trend of circus-like money fights in the boxing ring. Canelo has also recently returned to light heavyweight and is set to take on Dmitry Bivol in May, so he is certainly in the neighborhood of the heavyweight division, which means a fight with Tyson Fury could yet materialize. Canelo himself has played down the rumors of his moving up, suggesting that his body wouldn't allow it, which we would tend to agree with. But stranger things have certainly happened. Do you think this one could eventually get the go-ahead? We're discussing a 1,000,000% promise from the Gypsy King now. Stay tuned. Tyson Fury is no stranger to the WWE wrestling ring. Following his 2019 appearance in which he defeated Braun Strowman, he has been called out by another WWE star, Drew McIntyre, who said, "We go back and forth with each other and give each other stick. He somehow seems to always duck me whenever he's at the WWE. He's obviously a little worried about something. I am always a big fan of his. He is highly entertaining and such an attraction, so the WWE is always open to him. We could do something in the ring. The ball is in his court. I'm not going to wait around for Tyson Fury though. He can give us a call. He has our number." And with the world's premier wrestling organization set to return to the UK later this year, Fury has been quick to put his name forward to make an appearance. Fury's own wife, Paris, has recently revealed that her man Tyson has kept in close contact with WWE owner Vince McMahon, so we can probably expect this one to go ahead at some stage. And Fury, responding to McIntyre's words, stoked the fire of a potential WWE return even further Twitter by saying that we can possibly expect to see him at SummerSlam, which is coming up soon. He then had a stark warning for McIntyre, warning him that he could end up on the receiving end of another knockout. Do you see Fury returning to WWE? Next up, could he really retire? Of course, Tyson has said on numerous occasions how he has planned to retire following the Whyte fight, but for one reason or another, people don't seem to believe those claims. The fact that he has just cemented himself as probably pound-for-pound #1 on the planet, and his relative youth in a sport which regularly sees fighters go until their late 30s has suggested that he probably won't stay retired for long. However, he was quick to point out after Saturday night's KO win over Dillian Whyte, he has now won every single belt available for a heavyweight boxer, which begs the question, what else does he have to prove? And the answer is a resounding nothing. Apart from the obvious megabucks he would receive for any future fight, he doesn't really have any motivation to return to the ring, possibly apart from unifying the division, which would see him up against one of either Usyk or Joshua. And the man himself has been quoted in the past as saying that he has $150 million in the bank and that he can easily live the rest of his life quite comfortably with just 10% of that. So it is obvious that he doesn't really see money as a motivating factor, which is actually nice to see in this day and age. Do you guys think that the Gypsy King will stay retired from what has been quite a remarkable career? Let us know below. And finally, a sensational claim by Wladimir Klitschko. Of course, at the moment, Klitschko is currently distracted by the illegal invasion of his country, Ukraine, and serving as Kiev's mayor. He is actively involved in its defense. But following Tyson Fury's performance on Saturday night, the Ukrainian, who fought and lost to Fury in November 2015, has suggested he could be set for a shock return to the ring. Klitschko was heavyweight champ for 11 years, but retired back in 2017 following defeat to Anthony Joshua in the UK. But speaking recently, he has said that he can't fully rule out a return to the sport he once ruled. And the man himself, who has been rightly lauded for his patriotic defense of his homeland, has recently said, "I also learned that despite the war, you shouldn't forget life. Sport is part of my life. I'm delighted that Tyson Fury won, which will excite fans of the former champ to no end." And Vladimir, whose brother Vitaly was also a world champion, went on to say that he's not making any promises, but if the war comes to an end in the near future, then who knows? He then spoke of his dream of breaking George Foreman's record of being the oldest ever heavyweight champ before claiming that he doesn't want to break a jaw, he wants to break a record. Do you guys think that a return to the ring for Klitschko is a good idea? Let us know below. As always, thanks for dropping by today, and remember to join us next time for some more fun and games. Also, why not do us a solid by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Bye guys!